Howdy folks, it's Turtle here, and welcome back to another texture pack update video. Big update video for you today, pretty significant. And we're also going to talk about some accidental successes, as well as some struggles I'm having. I normally don't talk about the struggles, but I'm going to in this video because why not? So let's just get going here right away. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about, first ignore that in the distance. That's some of the struggles we're going to talk about. But the first thing we're going to talk about is that I accidentally came up with a stone texture. And that's because I was working on my copper ore, which is the new ore in 1.17, and I accidentally came up with a gorgeous stone. Look at that. I came up with this. I'm so happy because I was worried about like stone and andesite and dirt and diorite and all of that stuff and granite. But I made some stone, and I just love it so much. It was a total accident. It did take a couple revisions once I saw it in context, but I came up with stone, which means I had to redo all of the ores, which I'll show in a second. But first I wanted to show you the stone in context, because I'm so excited about this. Look at this. Of course, the andesite, diorite, and granite I've not done yet. That's going to be probably in the next video, maybe. Haven't done dirt yet, but stone. Look at this stone texture. Ignore the ores for a second. There's some ores coming up. I don't want to spoil those, but look at this stone. It's amazing. There's a little bit of a pattern to it, but you can't get away from that in Minecraft. But the more important thing is from block to block, you can't tell where the blocks start and stop. You can see a pattern, but you can't tell where the blocks start. That is just, I'm so excited. And like I said, it was an accident. It was a total accident, and I just was so ecstatic about it. Can you tell? So that means I had to redo all of the ores, which is fine. So let's see some of the ores in context here. Here is my iron ore. I am so proud of that. That is my favorite ore that I did, for sure. Why is that? What is this here for, I wonder? Anyway, I have to redo that one now too, but we're talking about ores right now. So iron ore, check that out. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I'm not saying amazing like look how good I did, but I just can't believe I came up with that. Also, I'm going to do the other ores. I want to mention that I also made sure to make sure my ore patterns match that of the new Minecraft for accessibility reasons. If you may or may not be aware, all the ores in Minecraft used to be all the same, with just different colors, except emerald was different. But they were all the same pattern and everything, and then people were having a hard time, like you had color blindness or other accessibility issues. People couldn't tell which ore it was. So in in Minecraft 1.17, they redid all of the ores with new patterns, so each one has a distinct pattern, so people with, sight issues can recognize the pattern and know what ore it is. So I stayed true to that pattern. Some of them are kind of busy for my taste, but that's not up to me. I'm going to just do whatever Minecraft did. So iron is my favorite by far. I'm so excited to see that in here. And of course it's on the stone texture, right? That's what started my stone accident. And then coal. So coal is a little busy-ish, but again, with the pattern now, people can recognize it. This is like my third revision. It was really bright black, if you can imagine. So I toned it down a lot. I might tone it down even more, because when you get it in a cluster or vein, it can be pretty intense with that very noticeable black color, but for now I'm going to keep it. And then there's iron again. Those are the two that are in this cave, I believe. And again, I'm going to now do granite, andesite, and diorite because I need to now to match my stone. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I have a ton of options, the pictures I've taken, but I don't know. Things don't always work out the same. Let's talk about those over there. Don't look at that. Alright, so let's do the other ores here while I get them all set up. Alright, I believe this is all of them in my hotbar because the nether ones we did, right? The nether quartz and the nether iron gold, nether gold we did a long time ago. So here we go. We already talked about coal. I'll put one down anyway. And we already talked about iron. I'll put that one down anyway. And now copper. So this is a real piece of raw copper that I have for some reason. And it's not the copper with the green oxidation around it that the default Minecraft has, and that's because raw copper, I guess some of it exposed might oxidize, but if you're digging it out and caving it out, it's not going to be exposed to anything yet. So that's why I kept it like that. And then we'll talk about the raw version in the blocks as well in just a moment. So again, these all stay true to the actual Minecraft patterns. And yeah, pattern, I guess the way you would say. And then gold, this one is really busy. But again, that just stays true to the actual Minecraft pattern now. These, you know, this is real coal, that's real iron, that's real copper to make these. This is real gold. But it doesn't look as awesome, does it? So this might get a revision. I just like how good these are, right? These three are so nice. And then this one looks like crap. So I may redo it. I might not. I don't know. I will need to find a piece of gold-like material that has this type of texture to it. I could use this, I guess, and then just color it. I don't mean this block because it needs to be this pattern, but like this material and then reshade it so it looks gold. I don't know. But right now, gold just looks terrible. I know it looks terrible, but it's not like I was in a hurry or anything. It's just the way it turned out looks awful. Also, the block behind it looks different, but it's obviously the same block. But it looks different, doesn't it? Because of the color, the yellow color makes it look different. Anyway, that might get a revision. It might not. Redstone was really tough to figure out what to do, so this is a real picture of something, and then I shaded it. That one is okay. Again, not as good as these three, but it's okay. But I don't think I need to redo that one. Diamond, I love. That's real diamond. Well, or emerald, I mean. Emerald, sorry. This is real emerald. Well, this is from my ring. Is it real emerald? I don't know. I don't remember what I made my wedding ring with. But it's an emerald of some type. So that's where the shading comes from. I want to keep that, although, again, it looks kind of... I don't know. Again, these three look very realistic. These three don't look as realistic, even though this is a real material, and so is this. But I think I'm going to keep that. I think I'm going to keep that. I'm not sold on the gold. The lapis. I love the lapis. I don't know why. It's really, really busy, but again, this is the pattern that the real Minecraft texture uses. So I'm going to keep that. I was thinking about toning down the blue. This is actually already toned down, but I kind of like how it stands out so brightly. And then diamond. I don't know if that's a real diamond or not, but it's a diamond-like material in real life. It's not, again, it's not as great as the first three, but it is realistic. So I'm going to keep that one and keep the rest, except I don't know about that gold. I really don't know about that gold. But anyway, those are the ores I had to redo because I redid my stone. I'm very happy with them. Yeah, I am happy with the gold. I might redo it, but I'm still happy with it, at least for now. Alright, so now that brings us to the raw materials. So here's the raw ore, iron ore, and then in my hand is what you get when you smelt it. I mean, when you mine it, hopefully with fortune. Otherwise, when you mine it, you get what's in my hand right now. That is my own texture. This close up, it doesn't look that fantastic, but if I drop it, it doesn't look too bad. I was going to put that in an item frame, but I guess I don't need to. Doesn't look too bad, right? So there's your raw iron. And then your raw iron block, which I don't know when I would ever use that, but there you go. It's a block of the stuff that's in my hand. And then when you smelt the raw material, you get this ingot, which is red craft. I have not redone the ingot yet. I will very, very soon. I just have to decide what color I want to go with, because again, this is the raw material, and this is refined material. So eventually I'll redo the ingot, but for now the red craft one is great. Those of you who haven't watched all the other videos, my own texture pack, which is completely its own thing, I do sit on top of red craft until I get my own texture pack completely done. Otherwise, it sets a red craft, sits on top of red craft, which I convert every version with permission and everything. But so anyway, we're sticking with that one for now, and then this is the red craft block of iron again until I decide what theme or color I'm going to go with. So this is your raw material. This is your refined material. Like I said, I will do that my own someday, but I don't need to right now. So moving on to the copper stuff then. This is the raw copper, which you see in my hand. And again, this is the material in the ground. This is the raw material before oxidization. And then we get a raw block, which looks like a bunch of tinfoil, which isn't, like goldish copper tinfoil, or would it be copper foil, I guess. I don't know when you would use that, but there you go. And then I did make my own refined ingot. So when you take your material and you mine it, you get this. And then when you smelt it, you get an ingot, which is my own texture and is not copied from Redcraft and recolored. It's my own design and everything, which you can see the shading in there if it spins the right direction. And then that leads me to the refined copper, which I actually got some of that done as well. I told you this is a big update. So you want to know what a copper block looks like using real copper. There you go. Copper block. That is my copper block texture. I'm so happy with it. I couldn't find any rivets, so I just used a copper screw to hold it together. In the default Minecraft texture, that is riveted together there. So that's where that came from. But I'm so happy with my copper block. So then that means, what about the cut copper? Well, check this out. I have cut copper as well. I'm so happy with this cut copper stuff. I just can't believe it. Which means that the stairs and slabs are also done automatically. You can put them down like this. So there are your slabs, which automatically come from that texture, and then stairs automatically come from that texture. So there is your copper when you first place it. Now there are 3 stages of oxidation. There's there's exposed, weathered, and oxidized, which I have not gotten to yet because I can't figure out what I'm going to do. Of course, in game I can always wax these, then not have to worry about oxidation, but I want the oxidation. So I got to figure out how I'm going to apply some green oxidization to it in 3 stages. I don't know yet. I do not know how I'm going to do it. I will figure it out soon. I have to figure it out soon because it's part of the project. So anyway, I'm just so stinking happy with this right now. I just could scream. I just can't believe I was able to come up with that stuff. Alrighty, so let's see. Does that get us through all of the ores? I'm looking through my list. Yes. All gets us through the copper. So the next big thing are some other new stones. Let me get those prepared. Alright, so going right with tough. I am so happy how the tough turned out. I have a real piece of what is either tough or imitation tough. The volcanic version. There are 2 versions of tough. There's a volcanic version, and then there's a yellow version. This is the volcanic version in Minecraft. Again, there's a bit of a pattern, but you can't tell where the block starts and stops. You can kind of guess, but that's actually not where it is. So I'm happy with that, how that turned out. I do know in 1.18 there's going to be enormous blobs of this. So when I do see enormous blobs in context, I might make a few changes, but I don't really plan on making any changes right now. And then if you want to see it in context next to my stone texture, this is what it'll look like there. So the colors, I should also say the colors of my own stone match the Minecraft default scheme, as do the tuff. So the tuff is a little different color, but if you look at the default Minecraft colors, this is what they are. So I'm staying true to that. The next is calcite. There's a geode. I know there's a geode in this world. I'm going to TP us there in a second once I get this going here. The calcite, that is the calcite texture. Again, there's a pattern. There's always going to be a pattern. Because if there's not a pattern, then it looks kind of bland and cartoonish. So there's always going to be a pattern. But the trick is to hide where the blocks start and stop. Now you can kind of see where the blocks start and stop in this one a little bit, but it's not as blatant as it could be. So I'm happy with that. We'll see that in context in a minute. And then smooth basalt. I will show you this with the other basalts, which are found in the nether. So here's the basalt I made for the nether, and then there's a polished basalt I made for the nether. And then this is the smooth basalt that you find in a geode. Now, how did I come up with this? Well, I took my regular basalt, because I have to have continuity, right? I took my regular basalt, took the top texture, and just literally smoothed it out. See that? I just smoothed out the texture, and then that also changed the color as well, so it's truer to the Minecraft default color. And there you go. So you would find a geode like this, right? Like that, with these three things. Or these two things, sorry. The third thing is Amethyst, which I've not done yet. So that takes care of that. We will go see the geode in context to end the video, which means I'm actually probably going to forget. So let me keep this up so I remember to go do that. That's what I've gotten done so far. Pretty big project, actually, to get all those ores in this new stone and all the raw materials and the items and then these things. So what are my struggles? Well, my biggest struggle, which I kind of was mostly afraid of, I don't know, getting frustrated with, are the deep slates. So I thought I had the deep slate thing in the bag because I have the slate at home. I took pictures of it. I've been trying to use it in a photo and then rescaled and everything for Minecraft. It just looks like gray and white dots. It looks terrible. So I tried using it, you know, and then drawing my own shading in here. And it works, but it doesn't look photoreal anymore. It looks just like this, but higher resolution. So I'm not using it. I've tried so many times. But here's my stone. Here's the regular deep slate that's found in the wild. And then you got the bricks, and then the tiles, and then polished, and then cobbled, and then chiseled. Once I get my base deep slate going, the rest of these are going to be super easy. Because well, I don't know about that one, but the other four, that one, and that one will be super easy because I've done these before. These, if you remember, like my netherrack brick stuff, turned out honestly really, really good and convincing and 3D looking and photoreal looking. So once I get this figured out, the rest of this will all be super easy. This to me is kind of like this, just sideways and more round instead of rectangular, but I'll worry about that later. So I'm really struggling with this. By the time I watch this video, maybe I'll have it figured out. But right now, it's such a struggle and so frustrating that I don't know what to do. And I need to get it done, you know, because 118, once you get to Y0, it's basically all going to be deep slate. The ores will be super easy because I'll just take this and then take the ore pattern and trace it and pop the ore through. That's easy. But getting my deep slate going, I just don't know what I'm going to do. So what I might have to do, which I was thinking about, is taking a completely different texture. Something not even a stone texture, and then color shading it or like resaturating it and making it look like slate. And Epona brought that up to me too. I'd already thought of it, but Epona validated my thoughts on that, which secretly a lot of my textures are not the object you see. They're just convincing. And I'm not going to tell you which ones those are because it will ruin the magic. But I got to come up with something for sure. But it is driving me absolutely insane. I just don't know what to say about it. The other thing that's giving me issues is moss. So let's take a moss block here. This is version 1 of moss, so don't worry about how awful it looks. This is just version 1. If I keep doing this, we'll get some rooted dirt under here. But anyway, this is version 1 of my moss. Am I going to keep this? Maybe. I always haven't done the azalea plants yet. But that's going to be coming up soon. Anyway, am I keeping this moss? I don't know. It's real moss. It's just the scaling is off. So it looks not as thick as it could. Right? If you look at the default moss texture, it's supposed to be like a thick carpety moss. Which would exist in like a wet forest or something, which I don't have around me. But this is real moss. I'm not happy with it. I tried using real moss from my aquarium. Not convincing. It's too dark and blue and black looking. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I might have to take something else and make moss out of it. So that's another struggle I'm having. So I'm struggling with the deep slate. I'm struggling with the moss. I thought the moss was going to be easy, to be honest. And I thought, even though I was worried about the deep slate because of how much it is in the world, I'm frustrated that I'm struggling because I thought that was going to be easy. So anyway, that's where we're at. So next up on my list is moss, deep slate, the deep slate ores, and then I want to get the rest of the stuff like these plants. I have the perfect azalea flower photo that I took myself. I cannot wait. So then it's going to be all the lush cave stuff like the azalea plants the rooted dirt, the hanging roots, the drip leaf, those types of things. And then the potted versions of each of that stuff, which will be easy. And then after that, it'll be the amethyst to complete the geode, and then we'll have to see from there. Oh, probably diorite and andesite and granite to go with my own texture for stone, and then that means I should probably go ahead and do dirt and grass, which I don't know how I'm going to do that. But anyway, so those are the next things on my list. Of course, that changes every minute. Like I'll get started on one thing, you realize, hey, this will work for a different texture, and then that texture and all the subtextures under it leads to other things. So anyway, what I just told you might not apply by the next video. But anyway, let's TP over to the geode to see this in action. All right, we do need to go into spectator mode. I think it's right below us. There it is. And we'll be able to see the other stuff in action too. So there's amethyst, which doesn't apply because I haven't done it yet. But there is the calcite. Hey buddy, how's it going? There's the calcite. Let me give myself night vision, I think. There we go, night vision. So here we go, we can see, hey buddy. So there's amethyst, which I will do soon. But there's the calcite, there's the smooth basalt, there's the stone, there's the deep slate. See, I really need to get that deep slate going. So there's deep slate in its natural environment. And I'm obviously not in spectator now, so I have to move about. But there you go. But I mean, yeah, all gravel too I'm gonna have to do, huh? Hey buddy, how are you? Anyway, there are some ores in their natural habitat. My stone does complement the other stones in dirt and gravel right now, so it's not like I have to make all my changes right away. But I am happy I have my own stone texture now. There's a geode, just a hint of it. But anyway, that is, whoops. That is how we're going to end this, I think. Actually, let's take a selfie out here. Just because we can. Let's see, is this going to work? Something interesting. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, that's how we're going to end this thing. So, yeah. Told you all the stuff I've been working on. Told you about my accidental successes as well as my frustrations. And we got to see some of the stuff in this natural habitat. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe for the next texture pack update. It could come tomorrow. It could come in a week. It could come in a month. I have no idea. But if you subscribe, you'll find out when I do. And I'll see you next time.